Have you noticed something changing? Not in a loud, dramatic way, but quietly, subtly, like a light dimming in the background of your life. Maybe it started as a cool sensation in places you never expected. A little less energy in the mornings. A little more hesitation when reaching for your partner's hand. And the worst part? You start to wonder if this is just what getting older feels like. But let me tell you something most people won't. It's not your age that's stealing your strength. It's something much more silent. It's your blood flow. I'm Dr. James, and for over 30 years, I've worked with men just like you. Strong men, smart men, quiet warriors who've spent their lives building careers, families, legacies, and now they're left wondering why they feel like a stranger in their own body. Not because they're broken, but because no one ever told them what to watch for. See, when blood stops flowing to certain parts of your body, not just your hands or feet, but the parts that make you feel alive, masculine, and connected, everything changes. Energy fades, confidence dips, and intimacy becomes a question mark instead of a certainty. But here's what gives me hope, and what I want to share with you. This isn't the end of your fire. In fact, that fire might just be waiting for the right spark. And that spark could come from one glass, every morning. Not a pill, not a prescription, not another disappointment, just one glass. Simple, natural, and surprisingly powerful. So if any of this is striking a chord with you, even a quiet one, stick with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what's really going on inside your body and how a small shift in your morning routine could lead to the biggest change you've felt in years. Now, before we dive into what's inside that one morning glass, let me tell you why this message matters so much to me and why you can trust it. I'm Dr. James, and for more than 30 years, I've sat across from men just like you. Men who've worn uniforms, taught classrooms, built homes, fixed engines, raised families. Men who were once strong as stone and suddenly began to feel like sand slipping through their own fingers. And the truth? It wasn't because they were lazy. It wasn't because they were giving up. It was because no one ever told them that after 60, your body doesn't stop working. It just stops getting the support it needs. I've seen this again and again. Veterans, accountants, farmers, grandfathers. Some came to me frustrated, others embarrassed. Most just wanted to feel like themselves again. Sharp, steady, present, especially in the moments that matter most, like intimacy, energy, and connection. And the more I listened, the more I realized something. These men didn't need another pill. They needed a plan, something natural, something that respected their dignity, something that worked with the body, not against it. And that's how I discovered a simple morning ritual, one glass, that started changing everything. But before I share the recipe, I want you to know this. I'm not here to sell you youth. I'm here to remind you of your strength, because it's still in there. You haven't lost it. You've just been missing the fuel to reignite it. And that's exactly what we're going to give you next. You might be wondering, how could something as simple as one glass, just one small drink each morning, make a man in his 60s or 70s feel more alert, more energized, and more connected than he has in years? Honestly, I wondered the same thing until I saw it with my own eyes, until I saw hands go from cold to warm, eyes go from distant to focused, and relationships, ones that had grown quiet, come back to life. Not because of a miracle, not because of some miracle cure or breakthrough pill, but because of something the body already knows how to do, a flow. You see, circulation is the silent hero of your health. When blood flows freely to your brain, your muscles, even your most private parts, you feel it in your clarity, in your strength, in your desire, in your sense of being fully alive. And when that flow fades, you don't feel broken, but you don't feel quite whole either. That's where this morning ritual comes in. I've seen men who felt like they were fading, light up again. I've seen couples reconnect. I've seen that subtle spark return to the way a man walks, talks, even the way he looks at his partner across the table. So what's in the glass? We're getting to that. Because before you understand how it works, you need to know why it matters so much. What's happening inside your body after 60 isn't just about age. It's about a change in chemistry that no one talks about. And it's likely the real reason why strength, energy, and intimacy have started to feel harder than they should. And once you understand that shift, you'll see exactly why this glass can be the turning point your body's been waiting for. Let's break it down together. I still remember the look in his eyes. A man in his early 60s, former teacher, proud grandfather, sharp mind. He sat across from me and said, "Doc, I feel like I'm slowly disappearing." He wasn't sick, he wasn't in pain, but something inside him was fading. His energy, his drive, even his desire to reach for his wife's hand in the evening. He thought it was just age, but he was wrong. And if you felt anything like that, you might be too. Because here's the truth no one tells you. Most men don't lose intimacy, stamina, or clarity because they're getting old. They lose it because their circulation quietly stops working the way it used to. And it all starts with a change that happens inside your blood vessels. One that's silent, invisible, but absolutely critical. It's called nitric oxide, a natural compound your body produces to keep your arteries relaxed and open, so blood can flow freely to every part of you. But sometime in your late 50s or early 60s, your nitric oxide levels start to drop. Not a little, dramatically. And when that happens, your arteries begin to stiffen. It's like turning a garden hose into a rigid pipe. The pressure builds, but the flow slows. And guess where blood flow slows first? Not your chest, not your arms, your hands, your feet, your brain, and yes, your most intimate areas. That's why you might feel colder, why your memory feels fuzzy, why desire feels distant, even if love is still present. This isn't weakness, it's not failure, it's biology. And the most dangerous part? It happens quietly. No pain, no warning. Just a slow retreat from the vitality that once felt effortless. But here's the good news. This process, this quiet stiffening of your inner highways, can be reversed. Naturally, gently, and sometimes surprisingly quickly. Not by forcing the body, but by feeding it the right signals. And that's exactly what this morning ritual is designed to do. Wake up your circulation, reignite blood flow, and restore the connection between your body, your energy, and your intimacy. Because you haven't lost your strength. It's just waiting for the signal to return. And that signal starts with what you put in your glass. Let me show you what goes inside. When I first started searching for ways to restore circulation naturally, I wasn't looking for a miracle. I was looking for something that could help a man feel like himself again, without prescriptions, side effects, or embarrassment. What I didn't expect was that the answer would be found halfway across the world, in a quiet Mediterranean village where the men age with something most of us have lost: vitality and ease. I met a man there, 74 years old. He still chopped wood in the morning, danced with his wife in the evening, and when I asked him the secret to his energy, he didn't name a supplement. He just pointed to a small glass on his table and said, "I drink this every day. Keeps the fire going." He called it the fire glass. I took his ingredients home, dug into the science, and began fine-tuning the blend. After years of working with men in my clinic, I found a simple formula that worked again and again. And now I'd like to share it with you. This is what goes into the morning circulation glass. 8 ounces of pomegranate juice, ruby red, rich in antioxidants that help relax and widen blood vessels. 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder, a potent source of natural nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide, the exact compound we just talked about. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, supports artery lining health and enhances absorption. A pinch of cayenne pepper, just enough to gently stimulate blood flow and warm the body. And optionally, 1 teaspoon of raw honey, a touch of sweetness with antioxidant properties of its own. That's it. No chemicals, no fancy packaging, just a handful of real ingredients, each backed by research, each chosen for a reason. The ritual is simple. Each morning, preferably on an empty stomach, stir the ingredients together, then drink it slowly, not rushed. Let it be a moment of intention, a signal to your body that you're showing up for yourself today. Because this isn't just about what's in the glass. It's about what that glass represents. A return to vitality, a step toward connection, a quiet declaration, I'm not done yet. And here's what's truly remarkable. Many men start noticing changes within just a few days. Warmer hands and feet, easier movement, a sharper mind, and for some, a deeper sense of presence with their partner. It's not magic, it's circulation. It's chemistry working with you again. And it all begins with what you pour into that glass every morning. Now, I know what some men ask me at this point. If it's really that simple, why aren't more men doing it? The answer? Because they don't know what's silently blocking their progress, even when they eat right and stay active. And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. Now, I could quote you all the studies in the world, but sometimes what speaks loudest is what you hear in a man's voice when he realizes he's gotten a part of himself back. Let me introduce you to a few of them. First, there was Harold, 68, a retired construction foreman, tough hands, quiet spirit. He sat in my office, looked me straight in the eye and said, "Doc, I'm not trying to be 20 again. I just want to feel like myself. I want to look at my wife and not feel like I'm letting her down." That hit me because what he was really talking about wasn't physical. It was about presence, confidence, intimacy. I gave him the morning ritual, told him, 1 glass, just for a week. By day 4, he called me with something I hadn't heard in his voice before. Lightness. "Doc, my hands are warm. I woke up before my alarm. I felt ready." And by the 7th day, his wife had pulled him aside and whispered, "You seem lighter, happier." Sometimes that's all a man needs to know he's on the right track. Then there's Carl, 72, a Navy vet, sharp as a blade in his younger days, but lately his mind had felt dull. "I used to walk into a room and forget why I was there," he told me. After just 1 week on the circulation glass, he said, "It's like the fog lifted. I can think clearly again. I feel like I've got my edge back." And Bernard, 65, he emailed me after just 5 days, not with a long report, just one simple, powerful line. "It's not just what I feel, it's what I see in her eyes when I walk into the room." That spark, that quiet connection, had returned. Then there's George, 70, from Michigan. A man of few words, all he said was this: "It brought me home to myself." And honestly, that might be the most powerful testimonial of them all. Because when circulation comes back, it's not just about better numbers or warmer hands. It's about identity. It's about showing up, not just in your body, but in your life. These men didn't change who they were. They just gave their bodies what they needed to feel whole again. And if they can feel that shift in 7 days, so can you. But here's the thing, some men don't feel the full results right away. And when I looked deeper, I realized there are 3 mistakes many guys are making that block circulation without even knowing it. Let's talk about those next, because fixing them can open the floodgates. Now, I wish I could say the morning ritual works like magic for every man on day 1, but the truth? Some guys start strong and hit a wall. The results stall. The warmth doesn't return. The spark flickers. And for years, I couldn't figure out why. They were drinking the glass. They were trying. So I started asking more questions. And that's when I discovered the pattern. Most of them were unknowingly doing the same 3 things. Small habits, seemingly harmless, but quietly undoing the very progress they were trying to build. Let's break them down, one by one, because once you see them, you can fix them almost instantly. Mistake number 1, dehydration. Thick blood can't flow. It sounds simple, too simple, but I've lost count of how many men forget the most essential ingredient to blood flow: water. Blood is over 90% water. When you're dehydrated, it thickens, and when it thickens, it slows. Think of it like trying to push syrup through a straw. Even if your arteries are open, if the fluid is sluggish, the fire never reaches the places it needs to. And no, coffee doesn't count. Neither does tea. Those dehydrate more than they hydrate. So here's my challenge. For the next 7 days, start your day with the morning glass and drink at least 6 to 8 cups of clean water spread through the day. Do that, and circulation has a chance to catch up. Mistake number 2, sitting too long. Stillness stiffens the system. Bill, one of my patients, once told me, "Doc, I'm retired. I like my crossword puzzles, my recliner, my morning shows." I smiled. Nothing wrong with any of that, except for one thing. When we sit too long, especially in our 60s and 70s, blood pools. It gets lazy. The arteries stop stretching, the heart stops being challenged, and circulation becomes sluggish. But here's the fix, and it doesn't require a gym or treadmill. Set a timer. Every 60 minutes, stand up. Walk a lap around the house, stretch your arms, roll your shoulders. Even 2 minutes of gentle motion can signal your vessels to wake up and get moving again. Mistake number 3, silent stress. A tight mind creates tight arteries. Not all pressure shows up as shouting or panic. Sometimes it's the quiet kind. The kind that settles into your chest at 2 a.m. Worries about money, health, family, loneliness. It raises your cortisol. And when cortisol rises, your blood vessels constrict. Like squeezing a hose while trying to water the garden. Nothing flows. That's why I tell my patients, circulation isn't just physical, it's emotional. Your body can't relax if your mind stays clenched. So find a release. Breathe deeply. Journal. Walk in the morning sun. Pray. Listen to music. Whatever brings peace. That's medicine too. Small tweaks. Big changes. Once my patients began addressing these 3, hydration, movement, and mental pressure, everything changed. The ritual started to work faster. Circulation returned stronger. And most importantly, belief returned. The belief that this isn't over. Because you were never too old. You were just underfueled, undercirculated, undersupported. And now that we've cleared the roadblocks, there's only one question left. Will you give your body the chance to remember how good it can feel again? Let's wrap this up with the truth that matters most. After more than 3 decades walking beside men through the quiet battles of aging, there's one truth I've learned that matters more than any blood test, supplement, or statistic. Aging isn't the enemy. Losing belief in your body is. The moment a man stops believing he can feel strong again, that's when things truly begin to fade. But I've seen what happens when he dares to believe again. When he chooses to stand up, not to chase youth, but to honor the life he still has to live. When he picks up a glass, not just to hydrate, but to declare, I still matter. I still belong in this body, and I'm not done. You see, this whole video might have started with blood flow, but it was never really about that. It's about connection to your partner, to your purpose, to the quiet fire inside you that still wants to burn. So if you've made it this far, I want you to remember something. You're not too old, you're not broken, and you're certainly not alone. The science is there. The ritual is simple. The stories are real. And your body? It hasn't given up on you. It's been waiting for the right signal, waiting for someone to tell it, let's go again. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up. Rise, stand tall. Pour that glass with intention. Drink it slowly, like a man reclaiming his rhythm. And know that every sip, every step, every small change is a vote. A vote for strength, a vote for dignity, a vote for life. Not just for you, but for the ones who still look up to you, walk beside you, and love you more than you'll ever know. Because the truth is, you still have so much more life to live. Let's help your blood and your spirit flow freely again.